Imagine watching your life savings slowly disappear, not because of bad investments, but because the money itself is losing value every single day. That's the quiet crisis of inflation. In his timely book, Bitcoin as a Shield, Protecting Wealth in an Inflationary World, author J.R. Glenn delivers a clear, no-nonsense case for why Bitcoin is the best financial defense ordinary people have against this erosion. Published in 2025, the book isn't a get-rich-quick guide. It's a strategic playbook for preserving what you've already earned. Today, I'm breaking down the book's main points, the historical and economic context Glenn lays out, and the practical lessons every reader should walk away with. Glenn starts with a simple truth. Traditional money, dollars, euros, pounds, is broken. Central banks can print as much as they want.
Every time they do, the purchasing power of your savings drops. He walks readers through monetary history, how governments abandoned the gold standard, how quantitative easing exploded after 2008 and especially after 2020, and how inflation has quietly become a hidden tax that hits wage earners and savers hardest. The book doesn't demonize central banks. It simply shows they have both the incentive and the ability to expand the money supply whenever politicians need to fund deficits, bailouts, or stimulus.
The result? Your money buys less every year. Glenn calls this the silent theft of wealth. Into this broken system steps Bitcoin, a monetary asset designed from day one to be the opposite of fiat currency. Glenn's core argument is straightforward and powerful. Bitcoin was engineered to solve exactly the problems fiat money creates. Here are the book's key pillars. First, absolute scarcity. Bitcoin has a hard-coded limit of 21 million coins, forever. No government, no central bank, no CEO can print more. Glenn contrasts this with fiat currencies that have no limit and gold that, while scarce, is still mined and added to supply every year. Second, decentralization and trustlessness. Bitcoin runs on a global network of thousands of nodes and miners, no single point of failure. No one can freeze your account, confiscate your coins, or change the rules on a whim. Glenn emphasizes that this makes Bitcoin the first truly neutral, apolitical form of money in history. Third, immutable monetary policy. The halving schedule, every 4 years the new supply is cut in half, is predictable and unstoppable. Glenn calls this programmable soundness and shows how it creates built-in deflationary pressure over time, the exact opposite of the inflationary pressure baked into fiat. Fourth, Bitcoin as digital property. Once you hold the private keys, your Bitcoin is yours in the same way a house or a piece of land is yours. Glenn stresses self-custody as the ultimate act of financial sovereignty and walks through simple, practical ways to do it safely. Throughout the book, Glenn uses real-world examples: hyperinflation in Venezuela and Argentina, the 1970s US stagflation, and the post-pandemic money printing surge. In each case, those who held hard assets preserved wealth while fiat holders lost ground. Bitcoin, he argues, is the hardest asset ever created. So what should you actually take away and do after reading Bitcoin as a Shield? Glenn leaves readers with 3 clear lessons. Understand the game has changed. Inflation isn't a bug, it's a feature of the current monetary system. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Stop treating your paycheck or retirement account as safe. Bitcoin is not a speculation, it's insurance. Glenn is careful not to promise moon prices. Instead, he frames Bitcoin as the best long-term hedge against currency debasement. Even small, consistent allocations, dollar cost averaging, can act as a powerful shield over a decade or more. Sovereignty requires responsibility. Owning Bitcoin means learning basic security, hardware wallets, seed phrases, avoiding scams. Glenn doesn't sugarcoat it. True financial freedom comes with personal accountability. The final lesson is optimistic. Bitcoin gives ordinary people a tool that was previously reserved for the ultra-wealthy or nation-states: the ability to opt out of a failing monetary system without asking permission.
Bitcoin as a Shield isn't about hype, it's about clarity. J.R. Glenn cuts through the noise and shows why, in an era of endless money printing, Bitcoin isn't just an investment. It's the most rational financial defense available today. If you're tired of watching inflation eat your savings, this book is worth your time. Pick up a copy, understand the mechanics, and decide for yourself whether Bitcoin belongs in your personal wealth shield. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment if you've read the book or if you're considering adding Bitcoin to your portfolio. Stay sovereign, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.